there's a strange lack of buzz for this game with Michigan, and the stadium thing's kind of added to that because that's where all the talk is right now today. But the number 2 ranked team is coming to Lincoln to play Nebraska, and this is only the 3rd time since Nebraska's been a Big Ten member that Michigan has played a game in Lincoln.
Okay, now, first of all, did you feel that lack of buzz? Is that something you feel?
I just think there's this notion that Nebraska is not going to, win this game, and a lot of people just have moved on already. I think there's just kind of like, we're not ready to play a team like Michigan.
Okay. I think it's the conversation's more nuanced than that. I do think there's a lack of buzz, but I think it's more about this game feels somewhat predictable. Not that Nebraska's way overmatched, though. You understand what I'm saying? What's the score you're predicting?
27-13.
That doesn't suggest way overmatched, but it does suggest predictable. Like, I feel like Nebraska fans are very astute, and they're expecting something like you're saying, where a game, in simple terms, Sean, where Nebraska's in it, they're in it, but you never really feel like they're going to win. That Michigan's probably in control most of the game. Nebraska's never really out of it, but they're never really in it. This is what I want. You know what would be beautiful? And I'm surprised by this. I'm frankly, now I think different than a lot of people. I understand that. But I'm shocked by the lack of buzz for one reason, Sean. If Nebraska wins this game, the season and the expectations and the sort of the level of excitement turns on a dime. It really does. Because why? Because the rest of the schedule, Sean, can I put it this way? The rest of the schedule after Michigan is as manageable as it will ever be for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Okay? For the rest of our lives.
Because Oregon and USC and Washington and UCLA aren't here. There's
right.
no Ohio State. There's no Penn State.
Nebraska will never have a schedule this manageable for the rest of our lives. Okay? If you beat Michigan and you face this schedule, all the possibilities in the world are before you.
Did you write that this week?
I should.
I was going to say, this is a good column.
Especially if you go beat Illinois, where you'll probably be a pick'em. Right?
Pretty close to. You think about the schedule. Michigan State on the road. All of a sudden, that doesn't look that bad. In November, those players could be in the portal. Those coaches have a foot out the door trying to find their next job.
Your toughest game might be a home game against Maryland.
At Wisconsin at night.
Tough.
Now, they haven't called it yet a night game, but it's expected to be a night game.
But right now, if I were picking, if Maryland and Wisconsin were playing on a neutral field, I'd pick Maryland. That's all I'm saying, Sean. Maryland's the 4th best team in the league right now in the Big Ten. Not in the 4th best team in the Big Ten as a whole.
And you can't really name the 5th.
Wisconsin, probably.
By default.
Yeah. So that's why I'm a little surprised that there's not more buzz, because the opportunity this presents and what it would take for Nebraska to pull this upset isn't a crazy notion. It is maybe force a couple turnovers, maybe get a pump block, maybe get something on special teams. And Sean, if you can get to 17 points, if you're Nebraska, there'll be major pressure on Michigan at that point. Because I think you got a defense here that can hold them in the kind of the early 20s.
Yeah, there's 2 things about this game that worry you. Can Nebraska's defense get off the field on 3rd down?
Yeah.
Because it's going to be –
Yeah, that's big.
they're going to be really good at executing 3rd downs.
Yeah, they got McCarthy, who was a 5-star quarterback.
And then on offense, will they protect? Are they going to find runs like we've seen? Probably not. So when they have to pass – can they protect Harburg? And we think it's going to be Harburg.
Yeah.
Can he get it out? Is he going to get it down the field? Is he going to get it down?
How are they going to move the balls when it comes down to?
Is Billy Kemp and Marcus Washington and John Bullock and Tommy Hill
Alex Bullock. They're not moving John, are they?
They haven't moved him yet. But are they going to be good enough to get open against Michigan corners?
Great question. Yeah, great question. The back end of Michigan's defense, the front end's really good. They're just good. It's the top rated scoring defense in the country.
But they've also had the best schedule of anybody in the country.
True.
Honestly,
or most anybody.
Who has had an easier schedule?
Well,
Georgia,
maybe
Georgia.
Maybe somebody. Are you talking Power 5?
Yeah.
Power 5.
Most non-Power 5s have to play teams.
Good point.
To get money.
Yeah, I wonder if they have the easiest.
Georgia's is right up there.
I know this. Michigan fans are tired of it. I heard a Michigan writer on a radio show, and Michigan fans are tired. It's not just this year. It was last year, too. They didn't play anybody last year in the non-con.
This was the kind of schedule Frost wanted to put together in the beginning of the year, remember?
Yes.
Tried to get out of the Oklahoma game just to get some wins. I mean,
Right.
it's a bit, I mean, but it's like Michigan and Georgia haven't played anybody, and they're still ranked 1 and 2.
That's ridiculous, by the way, especially on Michigan's count. All it is
A reputation.
Yeah, their ratings are born of what they did in recent years. That's exactly right.
We're like, if you're being true on rankings right now, like Texas and Washington should be way higher.
Or Ohio State.
Ohio State now, too.
I mean, Texas has a win in Tuscaloosa, and Ohio State has a win in South Bend. They should be higher. Michigan has nothing. Georgia has nothing.
Okay, so if Duke, and if like say a team like Duke beat Clemson, say if they beat Notre Dame this weekend,
They should be
be in the top 8.
Yeah. Anyway, Michigan, 49th nationally in rushing offense. They haven't gotten untracked. 60th in total offense. Now, Blake Corum is, the guy you worry about as the running back. Now, he has been pretty good. 351 yards, 6.1 yards per carry. The number that really gets your attention, Sean, J.J. McCarthy completing 79.8% of his passes. He's hitting 80% of his passes. 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, all against Bowling Green.
He has not been stressed.
No, not really. They've scored 30 plus points and they haven't given up more than 10. So yeah, it is what it is. This is what I'm getting at. What can Nebraska stress them? And how will Michigan? Now Michigan will probably react like a championship outfit. They've won 2 straight Big Ten championships. They got a lot of old players, but you'd want to see this season how they'll react if it's 10-7 Nebraska at halftime, something like that.
This schedule at Michigan, I mean, he's built it for this team to peak in November.
Yeah.
September is almost like a preseason month for
sure. Yeah.
And then October it gets going, but then they're built up to play Penn State and Ohio State and go to the playoff.
They're built up, for that. And also you could take that conversation and just apply it to a game. It's just one game. They're built to win in the fourth quarter, Sean. If Nebraska's up by 7 going into the fourth quarter, it's still going to be really hard because they're going to keep hammering. They're going to hammer away, and it's going to be 90 plus degrees, and your guys are going to get taxed. Now, maybe now that I'm thinking about it, maybe Rule has been playing all those guys on defense with this in mind. Maybe that's what he had in mind. Guys, we're not going to play 12 guys on defense against Michigan because we'll get hammered. We're going to have to play 25, 28, 30 guys, or we're going to get hammered. Maybe Rule, like good leaders do, think 2 or 3 steps ahead of everybody else, which may have been the case.
This game could be under 3 hours, though. I mean,
it'll go fast. It'll probably go fast.
I mean, both teams are going to pound it.
Yep.
Try to.
Yep.